one of you, or at least many of you haven't, could go and sign up, subscribe, blueamp.substack.com. You're in here. It's easy. You can go click on me and subscribe. That's one of the reasons we're here, because Substack gives us this infrastructure so we can have an opportunity to grow, to fight disinformation, to, as the name Blue Amp means, amplify good, which is what we try to do. We try to amplify good. That means electing good Democrats, passing good referenda. That means, changing our culture and making it one where we are all more accepting of each other than a certain portly billionaire dork. And as I'm saying, we're all more accepting of each other. I'm not accepting of people that are horrible. Thank you, Lefty Grams. You just became a paid subscriber. You're awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I'm not accepting of people that are in bad faith and are horrible. Ooh, I can't find my profile. Okay, watch this. Let's try to do a little bit of, let me see what I can do here for Phil. Gonna go in on my laptop. Maybe I can find him. If I can't, then we have a problem. But thank you, Lefty Grams. Thank you, others, for supporting. Yes, most of what we have will be free. But as I told you, adding David Schuster and New York Times PitchBot and stuff, I'll do that. Anybody who wants to, we've got a 50% off deal right now, so you'd be fully brought into that, 100% into that for only $40 or $4 a month, $40 for the year, whatever you choose. So I ask you to consider that, because you get all the extras. But please, no matter what, go subscribe, blueamp.substack.com, because growth that we get big enough to really make the impact we want to make, that's the name of the ball game here, guys. These are the things we're fighting. Okay, let me see if I can find Phil. Come on, Phil. Come on, Phil. Yeah, I don't think that's him. Or is it? I mean, we got nothing to lose, right? Why not try the one that's in there? Let's see how this goes. See, it is you.
Yeah, look at that. Wow.
Oh my God, it is you.
It worked.
See, you led me to think that wasn't you.
I didn't think it was. That looked a bit weird. So it was like, yeah, I thought it was a fake me.
It is the real. You know what? I noticed you were only following me and Substack reads, so I was like, I'm going to try it anyhow.
Okay. Wow.
How are you, man?
I'm good. Yeah. Exhausted. Yeah, just had a workout and had something to eat. But yeah, all good.
I told people here, like, you're 67 and could beat the hell out of me. So is that the vegan plan or the workouts, or what is it?
Well, I just beat the hell out of myself, actually. So yeah, no, I think it's you have to adjust it as you get older. You have to navigate the icebergs as they keep coming in different places. So you have to just change it up a bit. But it's the normal stuff. Eat leafy green vegetables. Don't smoke. Don't drink too much. I mean, it's pretty straightforward, and we fail to do that and get exercise and sleep. But yeah,
I think that's probably all smart ideas. I'll never forget when we went to your first show behind in backstage after I'd met you. My wife and I were laughing because it was like, not in a bad way. It just was funny. You guys were like, "Would you like a soda or water?" Or in every movie we'd ever seen about backstage at rock shows, this was different. And of course, you told me the story, obviously, that will always stick with me of your good pal, and
Steve,
you know,
yeah.
yeah, and what happened, and that will change people. That will and led you to become like just about the healthiest person I know.
Right. I mean, you have to. I mean, Vivian, our other guitar players, getting over. He just had a bone marrow transplant because he got non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and had a really successful operation. You know, you had to get a donor, so that went really well. So he's recuperating. He's got to stay in a bubble for like 2 months. So he
Yeah.
should be ready when we get back out on tour. But health is so important, and it's like these things keep coming at us, and obviously as you age, the more they come at you. So you just got to keep kind of changing it up, adjusting.
Yeah. Are you? So when do you think you're going back on tour, or
Well, we're doing like sporadic dates throughout the year. We're doing a bunch of festivals in Canada,
Okay.
and we just played about a month and a half ago. We done a show in Mexico, just a one-off, and that was great in Leon, Mexico. It was awesome.
I'm not
So
going to get you in any trouble. I just feel like making jokes because you're like, we're playing in Canada and Mexico, and kind of feels like you're playing everywhere around.
we're
But
doing America as well. We're doing America.
um, what I want? Oh, there was a very one to ask you, but so all right, you got. Oh, I know what I want to do. I want to tell everybody, and I will provide a link at some point. So these guys, just being terrific human beings, did a version of "Stand by Me," a song that I'm sure you're familiar with. Probably saw the movie and the song. They released it. Phil lives in the Orange County area. I'm not sure where the rest of your guys live. They did it for the folks who were victims of the LA wildfires, and are raising money. So if you go, what's the best way? Is it to just go donate? Or like, I mean, because a download, you're not going to get that much. I downloaded it, and I assume that's just a couple cents. But
Yeah,
what can we do to like give you actual money?
donate's always better because as we know with the music industry, it's like, and especially with streaming, it's not a lot at all. But I think it just brings a bit of heat on it. Wrong word, but it just kind of uh, makes people aware of it. So there's definitely different ways you could do it for sure. But
Well, just is there a link that we should share? Do you
there
know it?
I don't know offhand, but go on defleppard.com because there's
You
all,
know, I'll make sure to find, and I'll put it for all of you folks. As I've asked you to subscribe to my Substack, you do that. I will put it up there, the link up
uh,
there. That will be at the top, because obviously I had a good friend. I think I told you, and I had him on, Adam Roth, to talk about his experience in Pasadena, having to get out of his house, and two
yeah.
homes down, if an ember hit and the house was gone, a block over, most of the houses were gone. He just got lucky. There's his kids, I think, not school anymore. His preschool was lost. Just
Wow.
terrible.
Awful. I mean, and there's like even now there's like still ash and stuff around. It's like kind
uh,
of, yeah, it's weird. But
did you hear me? I may have told you, I don't know, the other day when we were down in Florida to visit my mom. We were on the beach there walking along, and it's not exactly the same phenomenon, but um, I think these are all related to climate and other things we're doing. These guys, dump all of this, like all of the agricultural runoff in the ocean, and all of the damn sewage and oil, and so they had a red tide there, and with this huge algae, and so like we were there to see her mostly, but we wanted to spend just one day at the beach. We got a morning the next day because that day we couldn't do it. I took a video of it. I was walking along. I think there's a baby dead hammerhead shark
geez,
washed up. Not
wow,
to mention, I mean, hundreds, if not more, of fish. As far as you, and the smell, like it burned your throat. You had to
wow.
leave quickly. I'm sure that like it probably, if you had respiratory illness of any sort, would be a really bad place to be. And even like if you don't, you could cause that. Like it was just like you just had to get off of the beach, and it's like, what are we doing to ourselves?
I know we keep doing it. It's and we know all the stuff there. But I like when we met like a million years ago on Robin's show,
Yeah.
we at Kiribati, in the Pacific Ocean. That's kind of ground zero. It's like probably the first place that people are going to have to really leave. and apparently they're buying land in Fiji for them
Really?
to about for actually, yeah, because it's
So they're going to move Kiribati over to there.
yeah, because they have to, because the
Right.
water's rising so much, and it obviously affects everywhere. That's kind of, Florida. Obviously, it's like New York, lot of places, and any town that's got a river, which most big cities have anyway. Yeah, it's not good. It's
No. And now we're, well, I won't get into it, but I was sort of, yeah, I'll never, because that was a moment for me, because I was like, that you cared about the environment and these kinds of things. I mean, I wanted to just go up and just be like, and say hello, because, I think it might have been 1983. I was 11 years old, 10 years, something like that. Or maybe I'm getting the year wrong, 82. I don't know, where I just used to sit there all the time and be like, Unterglieten, Glauten, Gluten, and all of that kind of stuff. And I mean, that album, I mean, you've made many other terrific albums, but formative for me as a young man to be like,
good to
this is
hear.
amazing music, and then meet you
Thank
years later was kind of a cool thing.
That's cool. Thank you. That's really
So I'm going to get you to take a guitar out and play a riff for us, or no?
sure. Yeah, I've got one. I've got
Are you
one.
actually? If
I've,
you go for it, if you're willing to.
well, I've got one here. So this is my. Um,
What
I,
do you want? One of your songs? I don't know. You pick a song of yours that you like a lot that maybe
what-
people will
you
know.
tell. Give me a list. What do you want to hear?
How about we do "Foolin'"? Is that
Yeah. Okay.
that was awesome? What do you consider like one of your favorites? How about that?
All of them. It's like your kids. It's like, they're yeah, and different things. I mean, I prefer the rock songs when you're playing them live as opposed to ballads and that. But we always sound check with Hysteria, because it's got a groove, and most people like that, and it kind of got this riff.
Oh,
So that's pretty cool. But yeah, no, all of them. And obviously the one that makes everyone take their clothes off is when you're taking your shirts off and stuff. So yeah,
I was talking about you earlier. I don't know if you're watching. I was talking about you
I
playing with
did.
your shirt off.
I saw the shirt off sequence, yeah, and segment. Yeah, so absolutely
Sorry, I was just complimenting you. You're cool.
great. It was all good.
Who the hell does that? Actually, hold on one second here. Just got this at this cool, great old store, like the store that sells old rock shirts here in
Oh,
Cincinnati.
Women of Doom. That's
So
really
I think I will have to, next time I see you, I may have to get you to sign.
absolutely no, without a doubt.
Um, all right, so I'll tell you this: we heard your like when we saw you, obviously for your some of the songs on the newest album were fantastic, and now I'm forgetting the name because I'm an idiot. Diamonds and
Oh, Diamond Star Halo.
yes, Diamonds are Halo. I mean, so you played a couple of the. I mean, like you guys are still doing it, still producing new stuff. Still, is it? I know a lot of the more of what you can do financially is touring, merch, and that kind of stuff these days because the online thing wasn't the best thing for you guys in terms of music. And that's putting it lightly. So do you do it still for like the creative process that it's just in you and you care
You
about?
have to, and I think it'd be really lame if we were just like just went out and just done the same old thing all the time. I mean, you have to play certain hits. You have to play those songs that we just did just then. But no, we constantly record new stuff, and we was really proud of an album we did with the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra.
I
We
heard that.
called,
That was fantastic, man.
thank you. It was such a blast, and it was number one for 16 weeks in the classical crossover chart. So that was
Was
on
it real?
Billboard.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, I never saw that coming. But yeah, so I'm constantly writing, constantly recording. Actually, I'll show you my studio,
Oh, cool. Thank you.
because everyone goes,
Remember,
"Oh man,
there's as long as you're cool, there's 68,000 people on this chat who get to see your studio.
yeah, it's my studio."
Thank you.
That's it.
This is where the magic happens, huh?
This is it. I do vocals there and everything. Actually, sometimes if the vocals are a bit too shouty, I go up into the closet, so there's clothes around there, and yeah. But no, I do that. It's a kitchen table, and it's like, well, not anymore. It's kind of got all my crap all over it. But yeah, no, it's really cool. And we send files to each other, and it's really creative. I find it lovely, and yeah, love studios and all that stuff. And but it was a lot of work, to a lot of energy and stuff. So when you do this, you can actually get really, really creative and take a lot of the stress out of it.
Well, no, and it's nice now that you can do it on more of your schedule, and because I can only imagine, like in the beginning, back when you were that had that wavy blonde hair back in
Oh
the
yeah,
day, whatever. Like there must have been a lot of, I mean, there's pressure, right? Like you got to produce, or that's it. Record
yeah. I
company's
mean,
pissed, right?
thankfully, we were really lucky because we had Mutt Langer, our producer, who kind of
Oh, cool.
had this.
How did I not know that? Mutt Lang, you scored there.
Yeah, no, it was great, and just I've never seen a person work so hard in my life. It would just be like in like 24/7, and it kind of he taught us how to do that. How to kind of work hard. We're all really working class, and uh, we come from that background, so it was just putting that into practice, only in a different kind of medium, and it was like in the studio and writing songs, and not be precious and egoed out and stuff. So we've always had that, and we still have one dressing room. A lot of other bands that come and say, "Oh, dude, how'd you do this? Where did everyone else? Where did they? No, we're all in here. This is what we do." We do have warm ups. Oh, another thing, I'm very impressed by you doing this 12-hour so far thing without losing your voice, because I mean we do these warm ups, like we'd be
Hmm.
doing literally 3 hours a day.
Right.
Joe once done 8 hour warm up before because we done two shows in a row, LA and San Diego, and he warmed up for 8 hours because we're always losing. Now it's so easy to lose your voice
I
from
would think
talking.
so, right? My son,
Yeah, so
who sings, does the same. Does I trust me? There's a lot of warm ups around the house that we hear. It's so funny,
yeah,
you know.
right,
Yeah, I mean, no, and I know it as a talker. It's the same thing. I mean, it's going to be interesting tomorrow.
yeah.
Um, but
But also the brain mush thing. I remember, when we've done like promo tours where you be on a boat in Italy with like all these cameras and media and that, and you'll be doing all this stuff. And usually about 4 o'clock, you start, I don't know, nine in the morning or something. Your brain goes to mush, and you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, and it's like it's a little bit weird. So I hope you are hanging in there, because that
I
definitely
am.
you are good.
Well, I think I could argue that my brain's mush a lot of the time. So
Oh,
maybe, so
that's the go.
so maybe people can't tell the difference. Um, no, I mean, I get to speak. We've gotten to speak to an incredible group of fascinating people today. Um, some of whom I've spoken to many times before, like you. Some of whom, very few times. But a lot of people who are giants in their fields, and I've gotten lucky to do that. But I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, I came up with the idea, and they're like, "Let's do this." And the Substack was big, and we want to grow it and really have influence. And kind of the creative process, like you. I'm a writer, and and that I take a lot of pride in what I write, and videos, any videos I produce, and whatever. And I want that to have an impact and reach as large an audience. So, I was thinking about obviously all of this. I thought this would get people's attention doing this 12-hour thing. But of course, the last couple of days, I was sort of dreading it. And I was like, oh God, what's going to happen? I'm going to crap out somewhere in the middle and just be like, "Can somebody just give me some cough syrup or something?" And, just pass out. But somehow here we are at 4:30, and not quite yet. I think people like you, great people, and there's such a variety of them that are interesting and have a lot to talk about. Like that makes it this easier, a lot easier.
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah, absolutely, because it becomes interesting. I did hear you talking about history, and I totally agree that. I mean, we've probably spoke about this, but there's this book kind of. There's a bunch of books called History in an Hour. Have you read any of these?
I haven't. No, tell
They're
me about it.
you like Civil War, South Africa, Nazi Germany, World War One, medieval. I mean, they're amazing, and you can do one in an hour, and they're not politically slanted one way or other. They're just facts and of what happened and stuff. So they're really fascinating. But my point is that the through line is that they're all the same story.
Right.
You empires and kind of revolutions and everything, and they're all for the same reasons. It's fascinating. You go, oh, I've read this book before, and it's like, well, yeah, but it's different year, different continent, and all this stuff. It's fascinating.
And that's why
Uh,
we need to learn from it,
I
because
agree. And more than, I mean, I was, we was talking about the climate change and stuff like that, and sinking islands, or submerging islands, or whatever. Holland, I didn't realize this, reclaimed their land. They're actually below sea level. We actually done a Hysteria album there, and we stay there all the time. Really cool.
huh?
But they started this shit 2,000 years ago. For
Really? Didn't know that either.
oh yeah, whatever they were called back then. But as opposed to doing anything retroactive, which is really obviously a lot harder to do. So if you plan for something and you go, okay, we're kind of underwater here, literally.
Yep.
We dig some land up and we can actually grow some stuff. And obviously the soil was a bit weird as well, but they managed to pull it off. And like I said, we spent years in Holland. We had such a wonderful time, and it's a really good country, and that worked. So it can work. So I don't know why we don't, you know desalinization plants and God knows what. I mean, we there's so much we could do.
And in some of the places, I remember reading after Katrina, um, that that in Amsterdam, similar kind of similar kind of what level. What am I
Yeah,
not finding the right words? See, my brain is turning to mush.
yeah,
But
but with you.
and it's funny. People are noticing the Grogu and the purple rain in the background. I noticed that purple rain before. Good stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
Lucy, she's there.
uh,
Oh yeah.
you got a good collection, and they started apparently having like engineers like working on this in the 1960s, and it's like specifically on what they need to do with certain walls and other whatever. I don't know all the details, and it was like, what the hell have we been doing?
Yeah,
I just, I mean, it's not just us. I mean, there's plenty that haven't been doing anything, and just, I mean, we can't just wish things away.
with the other thing there, like talking about the music industry, it went from an
Yes,
art form in the 60s and the 70s to pure business agenda at a certain point. So that's the other thing. People go, oh well, we get paid for it, and that's that. Unfortunately, that's the thing. It get the greed thing comes in, and people stop caring. It's
we've become, if you look back, and it almost feels like a different country sometimes. There are things that were worse, obviously, race and gender and other things that were worse, I believe. But you look back and you see the 30s through the 80s in this country, and people sort of talked a lot about pride in what they did, and it wasn't all just about making money.
right.
We took this U-turn in the 80s, and I mean, it all became about what they said in the movie Wall Street, right? Greed is good,
Yeah,
greed is right, and all that stuff. And instead of in the music industry, like everything else, there's no industry, I think, that's been immune to that. And that's why
absolutely.
you see a lot of cheaper, not as good products in a lot of places, you
Sport.
know
I mean, everything. Yeah, definitely.
but not you guys. You guys are
No,
still freaking kicking butt.
integrity intact. So there you go. So we keep that going, and we do feel good about that. I've got to say, and the reward is you do get this, artistic reward from writing songs and expressing yourself and trying to keeping it within parameters. You can't go too cheesy, you can't go too commercial, you can't go too left field because you have fans. So we've kind of done some of that before, and so there's very strict parameters, but you can do whatever you want within those parameters, which makes it cool.
Right, right. And I think, I mean, I don't know, you tell me, but I think once you have kind of that record of success too, maybe you have a little more space to operate. I don't know. I mean,
Not really. It's you got to be consistent, and again, it's going back to the working out thing. You stop for a minute, and it's like you're down the toilet, and yeah, it's tougher, and especially as you've and I hate using the age thing, but or you've been around for a while, it kind of it gets a bit tougher. And I think we stop functioning with the same energy, and that's mainly it. people go, I can't be bothered. I can't be bothered to go for a walk. I can't be bothered to stretch. I just want to eat
Yep.
this lay on the couch, and that before you know it, that's the norm.
I think you can hopefully. What I try to do is find a combination of stretching, lying on the couch, lifting weights. Whatever that whatever various. I mean, I do get. I have to do the weightlifting. I have to do for my sanity. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's an endorphin release but I don't feel good about. Just I don't feel as good in general. I don't feel like I feel as good physically or emotionally if I'm not regularly going to the gym. And then I try to go for long walks and stretch. And I do take. I've been joking about having a pack of gummy bears here all day, just as a little treat to give to myself because I'm doing this. But I actually, there were times where I will freely admit. I mean, when I was in college and afterwards was not healthy. I went to college in Philly. Cheesesteaks at 2 a.m. were a regular thing,
Oh,
and
sure. Yeah.
and I drank way too much. And but I've tried to, I still um, like tequila, and I'll have a little bit here and there, but not a crazy amount. I still like beer. I'll have a little bit here and there. That's mostly my alcohol, and try to eat within reason,
Right.
and keep working out because you do realize sleep, how you eat, how it all affects you mentally. It really
Oh,
does. You know.
yeah.
All right. So when do I get to potentially see you head back in this direction?
I think probably June or July. I think I'll get the list of the dates and that we're doing. So yeah, I'll get that too. And like I said, they're sporadic, so it's not a tour. It's because a lot of them are festivals and stuff like that. We
Yeah.
just done 3 years straight of stadiums. Like
Oh, yeah,
was
I was at a couple of those. They were pretty
absolutely,
damn
yeah.
good.
That was great fun, I got to say, and we had a blast. But so this is while we were recording, we've got a bunch of stuff happening, coming out, and all that stuff. So we're keeping our hand in just by doing these shows. So it's pretty cool. It's a different vibe and less intense, I think.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Well, that's good too. And are the other guys? Are they there? Are they in California at all?
No, everyone's in different places. Joe Elliott lives in Dublin, but he's
Oh, wow.
in the Canary Islands right now. He's got a place out there. He's down there at the moment. Rick Savage lives in England. Vivian's obviously in hospital which I've got to call him in a minute.
Yeah.
In New Hampshire, and Rick Allen lives in Carmel, so he's in Northern California. So yeah,
Oh, it's funny. So you're all in those different spots, but you come
yeah,
together to. I'll last question I'll ask you, and I'll let you go. Can you do stuff in a remote? You were saying you write in there, and
yeah.
you're in everything. So you all first do the processes. You write things in a remote kind of way, and then you.
Just send them to each other. Like, so if someone's got an idea, I usually just take it as far as I can. If it gets stuck, I'll send it around, or I'll just finish it and send it around. Then we comment on it, and everyone's really good. It's a very democratic kind of thing, and it's yeah, it works.
All right. So now you all know, folks. If you want to be a rock star, you should eat well, collaborate well with your bandmates, stretch, and have Grogu behind you. I think those are the rules.
It's he's from Star Wars, right? It's
Yeah, Mandalorian, cute little
right.
guy.
Absolutely, yeah. Cool.
Hey, listen, it's always a pleasure talking to you,
You
whether we're
too.
on air or off air. So, your kindness and taking this time to do this for me, I so appreciate it, Phil.
Absolute pleasure. Anytime. So yeah, really
Yeah,
good. Good luck with the voice and the
thank
brain
you.
work. Yeah, keep that going. And
I'll keep that going. I'll ask you for advice if I lose it tomorrow, and otherwise, I'll be in touch.
all right, absolutely. All right, cheers.
Take care, my friend.
All right, you too.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, that was fun, wasn't it? A little bit different. Now, let's see. Let's make sure we get Brian on properly. To go into the app on your phone, make sure in the settings. I've sent this a bunch of times today. I wish I had figured this out ahead of time. That you are allowing folks. See, I speak to myself, but you can hear it too. I think you're watching, Brian.